Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Estate Sales Summit. I am excited about today's guest. Let me tell you something. This is special because I've known this gentleman for a little while now, and he has had a massive impact on my life and moving forward. So I am extremely honored to have Karl Bryan with us. Welcome to the Real Estate Sales Summit, Karl.
Rob, good to be here, man. How's it going? Sorry about the less than exciting aesthetics, but hey, man, the
Well, that's
content's going to be great, dude.
that's that Canadian thing. You got to have the hockey jerseys back there, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I know a lot of folks that disagree vehemently with me, but hey, man, let's go with it, dude.
Hey, absolutely. Well, hey, so just for you guys who may have not have know Karl. Karl's the founder of Leader Publishing Worldwide, which is one of the largest coaching organizations in the world, I believe, right? That develops and teaches people how to coach. So, and also the editor-in-chief, I believe, and founder of the Six Figure Coach magazine, which is really cool. So again, welcome to the Real Estate Sales Summit. Karl, before we get into it, give them a quick background, just a little bit of you and your focus in today's world.
Okay, sure. Well, so if you were to ask, like, business coaching is my thing. I've, without going into the particulars, been very successful with business coaching. Currently own, like you said, Leader Publishing Worldwide and Focus.com. I'm the chairman of Focus.com. Business coaches are our clients, and then I create software and online coaching tools for them. So just at the end of the day, I'm very passionate guy in the area of business coaching. My story kind of goes back, maybe we'll go into this later, but my big brother committed suicide when I was 16 years old over a business failing. In a nutshell, I don't do any of this stuff by accident. I'm on purpose in a very real and tangible way. And you've got some realtors, man, that want to hear what we have to say. So when you asked me, bud, I came running. So I'm honored to be here and super appreciate it, dude.
Hey, I am so grateful. So again, thank you so much. So let's get into it. So Karl,
sure,
number one determining factor of success for a real estate agent from what you've seen?
Okay. Got a little bit of experience with this. I've done very well with some realtors over the years. And so what I'm going to say is it's not entirely different than exactly what I would say for the butcher, baker, candlestick maker, the chiropractor, the dentist. But here's what a lot of realtors who are struggling will tell me. They'll say, I'm not very good at lead generation. Okay, so then my question back would be, how many books on lead generation and how many programs on lead generation have you done in the last 90 days, right? And then somebody else that doesn't have a huge problem with lead generation, like maybe they're getting them from the broker, what have you, but they've got lots of leads, they're not converting. What do they say? They say, I'm not a very good salesperson. And I simply put, I'm going to say, well, how many books on sales have you read in the last 90 days? I think we both know what the answer is. But, and by the way, are you doing it? When I read a book, I actually grab some. I mean, I'm literally surrounded. I got, as I sit here on my desk, I've got these books. I've got these retargeting recipes. I've got some of my own videos. I've got how I do business. I mean, this is my office. This is my desk. I think you can see some books in behind me. Doesn't stop. And I'm not pounding my chest. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I'm good at what I do. It's not by accident, right? If you want to lose weight, get off your fat butt, go for a walk, stop eating whites. Like, it's pretty basic. So what am I getting at? When I read these books, I'm watching them with the notepad. Also, how many nowadays, right, Rob, like how many awesome TV shows are out there with real estate? Okay, well, how many of those shows are you recording them? Are you watching them? And when you're watching them, are you watching them with the notepad? That's another thing that I find. Like a notepad is absolutely critical, right? So number one, and so you're asking number one determinant. I don't know. I just say that, but there's some other things I think that I'd say, like a realtor, people buy their houses every 5 years. Okay, so it's completely referral based. Don't hide from that. The number one strategy for a realtor for getting referrals will be to have a party for the person who sells the house, and then have a party for the people who move in. We could just end this right here. Just grab that and run with it, and you will get more referrals and make more sales. And unfortunately, though, that doesn't magically, fix everything tomorrow. But you got to think strategic, and you got to think in years and not days, weeks, and even months. Yeah. That's the strategy that's going to blow it out of the water. I'd also say, from a psychology point of view, and again, I say psychology. There's nothing psychological about it, but everything is psychological about it. And that's it. If you're a realtor and you want to blitz it and you want to make a lot of dough, you got to buy and sell your own stuff. A lot of realtors don't want to hear that, but you're asinine not to. Not tomorrow, not next week. And then Rob, what does the realtor say to me? I don't have any money. Let me tell you, there's all kinds of successful people out there looking for unbelievable real estate deals, but they don't have the time, bandwidth, energy, wherewithal to go search for it. Bring them some solutions. Like, become a solution provider. Go partner with the guy with money. You be the person, but now you got to do your damn homework, because a realtor will then do that, and then they bring bad deals to folks with money, right? And then I say, see you later, right? Like, bring me friggin' home runs. And if you want an example of that, my favorite movie, our buddy Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. Information is power. So don't bring me the first 3 deals. Like my wife, when we bought one of our houses, I said, baby, you have to go look, and she'll talk about this and laugh, but I go, you got to look at 100 houses before I look at one.
Yeah.
She never got to 100, to be clear, but she did get to dozens, right? She looked at them, and guess what? We ended up getting a really good deal in the right house in the right neighborhood that we love. But you see how that's psychological, but on the surface it doesn't feel it. Some skills. You got to learn to stage, right? So things like curb appeal, critical. Help your client, bring value. This is how you increase your referrals. If there's family pictures in the house, they got to come down, and art needs to go up. Because if I come into your house and I see your family, that's not my family. There's a break in rapport. That's a dissociation, and suddenly they walk out. I don't know why. It just didn't feel like home. Well, that's because the wrong damn. You got family photos there that I'm not in, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Learn to create good ads. Don't just write ads like everybody else. Like, don't call it a house, call it a home. Would be like a very simple strategy. But by the way, and then I'm not a copywriter is what they'll say. Well, how many books on copywriting have you read over the last 3 months, last year? And you want to know how to be successful? Rob knows, I know, successful people know. It's just about going to the cafeteria and cutting in line. You got to wait in line, and you got to wait till you get to the damn front. And the way you get to the front is you read a book, you read a book, you read a book, you do a program, you do a program. Next thing you know, you're at the front. I don't know if you asked me a simple question, man. I'm sorry, but
no, it's awesome.
I'm passionate about, right? Great pictures. Learn how to take great pictures. And by the way, don't assume that you hired a photographer and they know how to take great pictures. And there's ways to do this, but you got to learn how to do it, right? And you advise the photographer, don't assume that they just automatically know. Go over these photos and then approve them.
A lot of photographers don't need to. Yeah, some of the photographers on that one, they don't know that you have to put the seat down.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Right. Like, hello. So those are a few that I would say. Just educating themselves.
Huge.
Yeah. What do you think? Actually, can I end with this?
Yes.
Because again, at the end of the day, it's the #1 determinant for success. Right. It's about, like, at the end of the day, you are a business person. You are not a realtor. So things like understand that taxes in, Rob, your life, my life, everybody watching this, every person that you know, the #1 expense in their life is taxes.
Yep.
Here's my question for you. Like, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. How much time have you spent studying taxes in the last 12 months? And if you're 99.5% of the population, the answer is no. And of course, I'm talking to our realtors listening. You're crazy, because now you got to sell an extra house to make the same amount of money you would have if you just read the book, got intelligent about it, and don't go to your accountant and say, well, they should know, because your accountant, unfortunately, you go to them 3 months after the year is over. They're too busy. Not going to go into that. But like, understand your numbers. Understand things like gross and net income. That's super important. So you want to be successful as a realtor? Don't see yourself as a realtor. See yourself as a business person. And I think a lot of what I just went over and what I described would put you in that category. So a little more than one, I guess, but it's a subject I'm passionate about, as you know, and I hope that's helpful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the tax thing, I mean, it's bitten me in the butt personally, so I can vouch for that one. That's a huge, massive thing. Don't miss that. And I know lots of realtors do. So why do realtors fail?
Why do they fail? Hey, How much time do we have, Rob? Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna blame it. And by the way, this could be chiropractors, this could be dentists, this could be my niche of business coaches. It doesn't matter. It's the same. You go into the bookstore, and it's the delusional but seductive titles of the books that take us down, right? So um, I don't know, like I'm going to walk into the bookstore, and there's going to be one of the first books I'll see in the business section is going to be something like Go With Your Gut, right? Gut stands for gave up thinking. Don't go with your gut, right?
Yep.
Your gut's the same thing that told you it was a good idea to lend your buddy some money, and now magically you didn't get the money back, and you lost the money and the friends, and you're shaking your head, wonder what happened. That's your gut, right? Work-life balance. Good luck with that one. It's not happening for me, Rob. It don't happen for you, and it don't happen for them. So stop it, right? Work-life integration. That's what you're looking for. But guess what? If I called my book that, nobody would buy it because it's not seductive and delusional enough. So we get sucked into, The Secret. Oh my gosh, I could talk on this one for an hour. There is no secret, right? Even The Secret. If The Secret was The Secret, the guys who wrote the book and created the movie, they would have sat on the couch and went, I really hope we sell this thing, man. That'd be amazing. Yes. No, they went from town to town, city to city, state to state, country to country, selling the damn book and selling the video. That's why they were successful. That's the secret. The secret is there is no secret. So there's one word that you won't find in the entire book or mentioned in the movie. Starts with an A, and it's called action, right? Everything we're talking about here, it's hard work. But the secret means that there's some magical pill that you swallow, or again, you just, what do they say? Like, positive thoughts, blah, 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 blah. Like, Forget it. Just go to work, read the book, do the programs, whatever Rob says, just bloody do it. Don't listen to it. Damn well do it and write it down on your notepad. What do they say? Do what you love and make millions. Yeah. Eat chocolate cake and lose weight, right? Like, forget it. You got to love what you do, not do what you love, right? Fall in love with marketing. Fall in love with photography. Fall in love with that. You know what I mean? Like, fall in love with what you do. Don't, because you know what I mean? You saw a movie once, decide that, you're going to do X, Y, Z. What else? Look, never cold call again, right? Actually, so sadly, the guy who wrote the book actually passed away not too long ago. But never cold call again. Just cold call your ass off. But that's not gonna work, right? Like, that's how you. Anyway, so you get it. 4-hour work week. Look, Tim Ferriss himself will tell you, the 4-hour work week is an amazing book. It's a terrible title, and I hate it. But it also sold millions and millions, and not by accident. People read the title and then forget to read the book. The book's not about working for 4 hours and sitting on your butt. The book is about getting 40 hours of work done in 4 hours. But people read the title and then mistake it for the book. And so what am I getting at, Rob? Their goal is to work 4 hours. They think that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not the goal. And quite frankly, you'd get bored. You wouldn't feel like you deserve the success. You'd end up sabotaging it. And that doesn't mean that you need to be Gary V and hustle. I'm not a fan of hustling for 80 hours a week either. I got a young family, and I want to watch them grow up, and I want to enjoy my life. But I tell you, I work my backside off. When I'm in here in my office, I work. So what's the reason for failure? Seductive. Don't get sucked into the seductive but delusional book titles and program titles without doing them and really learning with the notepad, right? So that's what I'd say, man. That's a topic I talk on often.
Well, it comes down to that thing that, as I've heard many times, real estate is very simple, but it's not easy. And that's where it comes to working and taking action, massive action.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Right there, dude.
Yeah. So what's the best advice that you give someone in real estate that's trying to be successful and become successful?
Okay, I answered a little bit of it here, but
Yep.
Get focused and take consistent action would be up there. Here's what I'd say to that. Okay, so when I read a book, I've got a notepad, and this isn't me beating my chest. This is just, I'm trying to give some guidance here, right? Believe me, you know what I mean? The folks listening, you guys could turn this around and ask me some questions, my personal life and this, that, and the other, and my own business, and provide improvements. So it's really important. This comes from, a place of love and really wanting everyone to kick butt, right?
Yeah.
Here it is. When I would encourage you to read a book, watch the TV shows, buy the programs, but actually do the damn programs, but with the notepad. Okay. So 3 words: practice to improve. Right. So when you go to the gym, most people go to the gym. They go to the gym. Right. Go to the gym to improve. Tom Brady didn't become Tom Brady by going to the gym. Every time he went to the gym and every time he threw the football, he's improving. To this day, like, he's in the middle of potentially getting pushed into retirement.
Yeah.
He's not very happy about it, clearly, but the guy's in the gym probably right now as you're watching this, and he's not in there going through the motions, man. He's going in there to improve. His diet's all based around. He wrote, what is it called? TB12, I think, the
Yes.
book or the whatever it is, right?
Yep. Yep.
I guarantee that's his book. I guarantee his diet and something has changed dramatically since that came out. And if he did a version 2, and if he does a version 2, there'll be a lot of improvements, right? So practice to improve is some of the advice that I'd want to give to folks.
I like
With
that.
I said you got to get good at photography, get better at it. You got to get good at copywriting, like creating ads. Get better at it. Don't expect to just be like magic and amazing immediately, right? Like you and I, Rob, we didn't magically become like, and whether we're great at this or not, right? That's up to interpretation, but let's assume we're pretty damn good at it. We didn't start there, right? We
Yeah.
we improved over time. So I think that's what I'd say. Last, I think I'd add there, it's what you say to yourself about yourself that really matters, right? So a realtor doesn't get the listing, doesn't close the deal. What do you say to yourself, right? What do they say? Actually, Mel Robbins, she was on the front cover of my magazine, and she said this often out there. If they could hear what you said to yourself, they'd institutionalize you,
Oh
right?
gosh, yes. Yep. Yep.
Sorry, man, I'm getting over a cold.
You got it.
That cracked me up, man, big time. I was like, oh my
That's
god, that's so
good.
good. Oh.
So
Anyway,
true.
man, so
So
I
true.
think that's what I'd say. I'm sure there's some other stuff we could add in, and yeah, I'm not here pretending to be the guru, man, but I think that's some good advice for a realtor for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk social media because it's a big focus and it's a big draw, although a lot of them are scared on it. So how do they get traction on social media?
Okay, this is something I talk on a lot. So, okay, first of all, why are you doing it? Like Uber metaphor. Where are you at? Like Uber built 120 billion with a B, right? $1 billion company with 2 questions: where are you at? Where do you want to go? Right? So, if you do social media to make sales and to get your next listing, um, probably not going to get very far. But like, I'd make sure that you're, first of all, okay, the plan. Where do you want to go to? You want to build up your social media following, but you got to get them off social media onto your own platform. Because if Facebook changes their mind tomorrow, LinkedIn changes their mind tomorrow, somebody else comes and buys them up and decides to make a dramatic change, you're hooped, right? So first of all, that's really important. So what am I getting at here? You got to start it with a strategy, right? Um, 2 things drive attention in social media, and anybody listening, please write these down if social media is in your future: entertainment, education. Okay, so you got to try be funny, right? Like Rob, I write like a daily email, and I just
Yep.
try to put like funny crap all over it, right? And people read it, and then they tell me I'm a jerk off, and others tell me please take it, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I just know. But even as you're laughing, because it's kind of you and I, we kind of laugh at it, and then somebody else is all insulted and whoa.
Oh yes.
That's not my market, and I'm okay with it. But what is important is that there's 2 things that drive attention online, and it's entertainment and it's education. So, and you don't need to be super funny, right? And entertainment also is like super good looking people, right? Like Kim Kardashian. I don't know how intelligent she is. She might be the smartest person in the world, and she might be dumb as a post. She's incredibly good looking. That's pretty obvious. That's part of entertainment. You don't need to be great looking to be highly successful, but that's an example, right? Like that's, if you're wondering how she became this huge star, that's what it is. That's part of entertainment. And then education, which is what I wanted to get to. Like, okay, how many foreclosed homes were in your neighborhood in the last 3 months? Okay, well, notify people. Um, how many, what's the, the average price of a home over the last 12 months? How much has it increased? How much has it decreased? And could you do that month to month? And the answer is yes. Even if it changes by a percentage, put this kind of stuff up. Do it weekly, do it monthly, right? But educate people on that note. Curb appeal is huge. You want to sell a house, you got to have good curb appeal. Well, educate homeowners on how to have good curb appeal. And say there's like 10 things that you could do to increase curb appeal. Well, one per day, you just got 10 days, right? So that sort of thing. So yeah, entertainment and education drive attention online, and only those two things. Good news there is it makes it a whole lot easier for you. Being contrarian, again, kind of my style, and not that I run around trying to pump my chest like I know it all, but like one of the things that I'll say reasonably consistently is like anybody who's trying to sell you multiple streams of income is trying to sell you a book or sell you a program, right? And if you're not worth, like, what you need is, and by the way, this isn't my advice, Rob, I'd imagine this isn't yours, but this is Gates, this is Bezos, this is Zuckerberg, this is Michael Dell. Build one stream of income that you're insanely good at. In your instance, that's real estate on friggin' steroids. Once you've got your net worth at a very impressive number, let's call that $10 million, then talk about multiple streams of income. And by the way, if you're sitting, because there's some people listening for sure that are like, he's crazy, what's he saying? I'm all about multiple streams of income. I've read the books, I've read the articles. Name me one person that you know as you listen to this or look at me. Okay, name me one person that you know that has multiple streams of income doing well that doesn't have one stream of income that absolutely rocks it. And you won't be able to do it, I almost guarantee. And of course, then there's the anomaly and a guy who's doing it like kind of okay. What I would say to that is if he took like those the same energy, time, money, resources, and people, if they took the energy like from those multiple streams and put them into the primary stream, they'd be 10 times further ahead, right? But okay, and you agree with that? You disagree? That's totally fine. Mm-hmm. What's important is I just took a contrarian viewpoint to something that's very popular, right? Follow your gut. And actually, very important I say this. I got to start saying this. Mother's intuition should always be followed, okay?
Yep.
Mother's intuition, that's not go with your gut. That's very different, right?
That's right.
We're talking about business here. Don't go with your gut. Gut stands for gave up thinking. That's a contrarian viewpoint. So what am I getting at? When you're online, if you want to get a little bit extra attention, being contrarian, you will find definitely will help you. I'll finish with this. Okay, so Gary Vaynerchuk, some of you have heard of him, some of you haven't. I love the guy. He works a little too hard for me. He's kind of that 80 hours a week guy, which works for him, and that's fine. It's not how I do it. But he's one talented dude. He's got this thing he calls the $1.80 strategy, and I think it's fantastic. What he means is you take your 2 cents and put it 90 times a day online, right? So I put up my viewpoint that multiple streams of incomes are for idiots, or not for idiots, but people trying to sell you a book or a program, and then you come in and put your 2 cents. And you do that 90 times a day, every day, okay? But do me a favor, grab your phone. Mine should be here somewhere, right? You got to stop watching this bad boy. Okay, set it for 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes to get your 90 viewpoints in, or maybe you're going to do it 3 times a day, 30, 30, and 30. That actually works better, but I just know how disorganized people and how, you know what I mean, they just might not do it. Set this bad boy with a stopwatch. It's 30 minutes, stop, and get back to doing other stuff. Otherwise, you'll get lost in social media, and that is a horrific idea. So the $1.80 strategy, though, is to go and put your 2 cents 90 times a day. If you got a calculator, go 90 times 2. That's $1.80, right? That's where it comes from. Very, very powerful. One of the other things that I do that I find works well is I'm a little bit maybe, and you could call this overconfident or arrogant, whatever. Like, Rob, you go put something online that I really agree with and I think's awesome. I'll put a comment of 1 or 2 words, like the end, period. I have found people read that, and the arrogance of it, like the confidence, right, is one that they're like, who is this guy? And you'll end up getting a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like, you'll get more, viewpoints. And another example that I just gave you is that someone else writes, what's the biggest mistake a business owner could make setting their goals for 2020. And then I will put multiple streams of income, period. I won't explain it. I won't elaborate. And of course, they read that, and
Yep.
because there's so many books and there's so many articles, and everybody telling you that multiple streams of income is such a fantastic idea, and they also tell you to follow your gut. Then they tell you that the secret's the secret. So that's how I do it. And I think that realtors, you guys could have, like, okay, somebody puts up a house for sale, and it's like do. You put price too high, period. That will get you attention.
Yep.
So that would be and by the way, that would also be contrarian. So that's the kind of stuff that I think that's the kind of stuff that I have done that has worked very well, and I think that's the kind of stuff that'll work for the realtors listening.
So yeah, absolutely. And it does get eyeballs, and that, all of the ones that have these massive followings have that. Well, Gary V is extremely contrarian, and you either love him or hate him, one of the two.
And by the way, and that's an amazing thing, right? Like, you've got to repel in order to retract properly,
Yeah.
right? So again, my style is not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Like, that's but my style is above average, if not more than that, for my target audience and the guys that just kind of like that. You know what I mean? If you're a hockey guy, football guy, baseball guy, I like to have a bit of a joke, drink a beer, and hang out with the boys. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so. Be yourself, but have a personality. Don't try be vanilla, right? Like, that is not entertaining, right? That is not entertaining in any way, and that's important. So
absolutely.
that's what I'd say about there's a lot more to it, but social media, that's one of the things I'd be thinking of. There's some of the things that I'd be thinking about when I try to get attention online.
Yeah. Well, would you focus on one platform, or would you try to build a following on all of them?
Yeah. Okay. So the primary ones I would say would be LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. There's going to be some that are going to come and go. There's TikTok, this, that, the other. YouTube also, actually, it's a 4 for a realtor. Could be one that I'm not thinking of, but that's the ones that we concentrate on. So yeah, the answer is that I would definitely focus on one, get it, and then think about, going to do a YouTube channel, what have you. But without doubt, focus here's what you got to do. How many can you be consistent on, right? So like on Facebook, like Facebook's kind of my thing. Not that I'm, some sort of superstar on it by any stretch, but I do it pretty well. We also we advertise on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I don't advertise on Google and YouTube, and that's not because I shouldn't. It's just that I probably will in the future, but we're kind of nailing down these 3. Started on Facebook, got it, and then kind of expanded. So yeah, I think you should kind of get one going that kind of suits, and then look at moving. But I would say those big 4 out, TikTok, Snapchat for a realtor, come on, just not happening, and it's just a distraction. So, be consistent, right? So if you can't be consistent on YouTube, and it's just going to take away from your consistency on Facebook, horrible idea, right? So so the question is, how many can you be consistent on? Because your audience will notice inconsistency. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
well, you put out a bunch of stuff. I mean, where do you come up with all of this, all the content to do that?
I come up. Yeah, Lordy, I do. But first of all, it didn't start that way. I used to struggle to get a weekly post out, right?
Okay.
Now I do a daily email, and it's daily on multiple platforms. Take it net. I think this is Tony Robbins, or I don't know if it's Tony Robbins, stolen from somebody. But net time. Net stands for no extra time. So like, I'm on my treadmill. I will never, like, if I open up. So I do a daily email, right? When I started my daily email, you can imagine, made me sweat a little bit. Did it totally by accident. True story. At about midnight, like, I was like, this is too much information for one excellent email. And I'm like, I'm going to make this into 3 emails. And then I'm like, there's a whole week of information here. So I just said to my database, I'm going to do a daily email for, I think I put a 1-month challenge for myself. Well, here we are, hundreds of days later, and it's gone. But so I was struggling, like, what the heck am I going to say? So on my phone, my notes are never far away. So I have got, like, I could scroll down here, but I have got pages and pages and pages and pages of information that I have found that will go into my daily emails. So when you guys are trying to come up with content, you're on the treadmill. You should never be on the treadmill, in my opinion, and then not educating yourself, right? So the earphones are in, you're going, your phone. Well, I just slow down for a second. I pump in whatever I'm going to pump in, and then I continue on, right? So my daughter, I got a 6-year-old daughter, dead set. We're driving somewhere, and she's like, Daddy, will you stop pulling over? Well, I'm listening to, so I'm listening. You guys might classify this as child abuse, right? But I'm listening to personal development stuff, right? In the car, I hear a couple things that are fantastic. I pull over, and I short, like I'm not elaborating. I mean, I'm literally misspelling words. I'm going to be able to work it out later, right?
Yeah.
I pull over, or I'm at a red light, and then I continue. But see how it's no extra time, right? So that is absolutely huge, and I'm consistent. So every day I'm educating myself on something. Again, I told you I got all these books like sitting right beside me here. I got some behind me. I got videos and notepads, everything right here beside me. So I'm constantly doing that, but I don't watch a TV show on business without, like The Profit. Everybody should watch The Profit. Realtors, you guys, actually you might. There's a show, 5-Day Biz Fix, that I think is amazing, that I think realtors may enjoy. It's more of a business show than a real estate show, but everything's got a real estate play. I personally think it's fantastic, and I like to watch things that educate me. So I watch that with a notepad. You guys might enjoy it, but no extra time. I'm watching a show, I'm chilling out, and the show's, say, an hour long. I'm taking 3 notes. So it's not like I'm obsessed and I never get downtime and I'm not relaxing. That's just it. I love the show Seinfeld, right? Well, I watch Seinfeld. If I hear a funny joke, I try to put funny stuff in my emails. I grab my notes. I put in the joke. I close it. You know what I mean? Done. Like it takes like 3 seconds, and I continue to watch the show.
Nice.
So that's the answer. No extra time, and I don't go anywhere without my notes on my phone. And often I find a notepad. I'm a little bit old school, but I like a notepad to write things down. I feel like it drills in at 100 times the level. So I've often got when I really want to learn something and I'm reading a book on taxes or something that's important to me, I've got a notepad and a pen.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's part of how I do it, man. But consistency, dude, for over many years, I don't stop. And there's a big purpose here, right? Like, I'm not, you know what I mean, trying to work out how to make some money tomorrow. I'm here trying to influence people at the highest level from a real legitimate, passionate place. So that makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Well, you've got a consistent theme through this, and it's giving valuable information. It's helping people. And as I've heard you say a few times, try to help 3 people a day without the expectation of anything back.
Again, so when you sit with somebody and they don't list their home with you, my question is, do they know how to increase the value of their home if they never speak to you again?
Yeah.
If you took that as your attitude, that is your mission, that is your standard, the absolute, no one will ever have a 15-minute conversation with you ever again and not be educated at a higher level on how to make money in real estate and how to increase the value of their home or how to buy very, very well.
Yeah.
Make that your mission, right? And believe me, the referrals, the attention, the Facebook posts, the compliments on Facebook will start to come. So
huge.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to shift gears again because everybody's scared of the phone. It's that 1,000-pound elephant that's sitting on the desk or, well, now sitting in their pocket. So they have to work it. It's important, but they can't get past picking it up. Why? How? Help.
Yeah. Okay. A wise man, a mentor of mine many, many years ago is one of my best buddies, his Uncle Jack. So what did he say? He said, Karl, 95% of successful business is done over the phone, and the other 5% doesn't work, right? For realtors especially, right? That's not 100% accurate, but I see, Rob, right, by your reaction, like it's damn good advice.
Yes,
right?
It is.
If you can't work the phone, you should probably, well, you got to get bloody good at it. That needs to be your standard. You need to start reading some books. You need to start educating yourself. You've got to get more passionate. So you've got to look at the phone. So stress comes from taking something small and making it big, right? Success comes from taking something big and making it small. In this instance, the phone's freaking you out. You're taking something small and making it big. You've got to reframe it in your head, right? So yeah, you just pick up the. I think what we said a second ago, Rob, right? Where you're picking up the phone. You're stop looking at this as a way to make sales. Stop looking this as a way to make some money and get the next listing. See this as a way to give value to people at the other end of it.
Yeah.
And believe me,
Yeah.
the listings, the sales, and everything will come. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so see how it's psychological, but it's a change in the way you're seeing it. So that's what I'd say. And I just, very importantly, the way I started it, 95% of successful business is done over the phone, and the other 5% doesn't work. Again, in real estate, we have a little more personal touch than a lot of others, but you do most of the work over the phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would encourage it, even like stuff like text messages. That is, I talked about earlier, don't refer to it as a house, refer to it as a home, and get really good at writing snappy copy. Well, same thing. When you're sending text messages, you got to get good at that. When you're leaving voicemails, get good at what you're saying and, be influential. So yeah, I think, man, it's a reframe of the way we're seeing it. I can tell by the way the question's worded, right? People take something small and they're making it big.
Massive.
This is going to stress you out. This is going to keep you from becoming successful.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
don't let it happen.
Karl, we're coming towards the end, and I want to respect your time. So, any parting words for the agents, the brokers, anybody out there that's watching this on what they need to do, what they need to focus on, and truly how to succeed in this business?
Okay, as a realtor, I think listen to everything you say, Rob. When Rob talks, you listen. Start with that. Practice three things: practice to improve. Again, when you watch a show on real estate, have your notepad, have your phone handy, and take some notes. Learn something, and then actually revisit it. By the way, you know what I mean? Like take another half hour off of your schedule it, go through it. I can't, and that's in everything in life, right? Actually, here's a beauty. I find that people, they prepare for a wedding and don't prepare for a marriage, right? See the difference there? Like that's why marriages don't work. And as realtors, you're a business owner, the probability for you to get a divorce is significantly higher than somebody else, folks. So, this is a challenge for me, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at a guy, you're listening to a guy who had a very crazy family and had a wonderful environment for a period of time, and then it was totally chaotic, suicide, divorce, burning down houses, you name it, been there. But so we prepare for a wedding and not a marriage. Like, are you preparing to sell a house this week? Are you preparing for a career in real estate? And again, you've got to read the books. You've got to do the programs. The fact that you're listening to this right now dictates that again, it appears that you're preparing for a marriage versus a wedding, but I think that's absolutely critical.
Yeah. Awesome.
So last one I would say, happiness equals progress. At the end of the day, you're not doing this. Like, at the end of the day, what are you really looking for? Me, Rob, everybody, we're looking for happiness, right? That's when you really drill down and you go, more than one level deep, you're going to find that people just want to be happy, and happiness to you and happiness to me and to Rob and to somebody else, you know what I mean? Different things mean different things to us. Stating the obvious there, but I think it's really good to drill down. Like, what does that mean to you? So I can tell you that progress equals happiness. So if you think about your life right now, the areas that you're feeling most fulfilled, maybe it's in your body, maybe it's in your health, maybe it's in your relationship with your wife, with your husband, with your kids, maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your finance, maybe it's in your net worth, right? Maybe it's with your buddies. Well, the area that you're thinking of right now where you feel really juiced and positive, there's been progress over the last very short period of time with 100% certainty, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling positive about it. So progress equals happiness. And I think that's important because when you read a book and you take some notes, you're going to make some progress and you're going to feel good. When you get a new listing, you're going to feel good. When you sell a house, you're going to feel good. But it's so much easier. You don't need to sell a house to feel good. It's so easy to get it. But a happy person, a positive person, somebody operating at kind of that level is going to have a significantly, more successful career long term, a significantly better marriage with their real estate career.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say, man.
Yep. Spot on. Spot on. Thank you so much for this. This has been awesome. Great information. I am grateful and appreciative for you and you taking the time because I know how busy you are and what you've got going on. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. No
So
problem.
if somebody wants to find out more information about what you are doing, where should I send them?
Focus.com. They can
Perfect.
pretty much find everything there. But at the end of the day, we take people and turn them into business coaches, and we take existing business coaches and elevate them to new and more exciting heights.
Awesome. Awesome. Karl Bryan, thank you very much. We are grateful.
Cool, Rob. Appreciate it. Honestly, my honor, man. It was a pleasure, and let's kick some butt, dude. Hope those realtors murder it.
Absolutely. Thank you.